Hey guys, so this is actually, I've tried filming this so many times in the past hour, and the reason why I didn't go with the first shot of this episode is because I kept saying and like and all these filler words, and it was just really getting on my nerves. It made me realize that my speaking habits are atrocious and I really need to fix it. Hopefully the version that I'm going to post is not going to have all of that. I'm really trying my hardest not to say those words. So I'll keep it in mind. Of course, I'm going to end up saying them at some point in time, but just forgive me. So, welcome to the very first episode of this podcast. This is going to be kind of shorter than most, I think. I have over 30 ideas in terms of podcast topics, so I think there's a lot to look forward to, especially with the holidays coming, and I just have a lot of things planned in general with my friends, and so there's a lot of things that we can talk about, also a lot of guests that are likely to feature on my podcast episodes. So look forward to that. But today I really wanted to focus on just introducing this podcast in general, why I made it, what it's about, who I am, because if you guys don't know who I am, then this is really weird. So I'm going to introduce myself right after this short intro. But anyway, so introductions, what the title means. Also, I have my iPad next to me for talking points. I am used to having slides for all of my presentations, and so this is going to have to do. So if I keep looking to my left, your right, that is what I'm looking at. It's my iPad with my very scratchy notes. So anyway, and then I'm going to go into kind of things I've realized because, also I have a couple of vlogs up. And I don't want to say I'm a vlogger. I'm a content creator. That's a little cringe because I'm really not. This is a hobbyist activity for me. So I'm just going to say I just have a couple vlogs that I've filmed and edited and posted on my YouTube channel. So make sure to look back on those. But if you guys don't want to, then that's totally fine. But anyway, the point is that I've posted 4 videos. No, that's a lie. 5 videos now. And I'm just going to share a couple things that I've noticed from filming these videos, especially the last 2 where I've had done some filming with a friend next to me, which is completely new. All of this is completely new, but especially with someone next to me, I think there's a couple of things that were very eye-opening that I just want to talk about. So, getting on with it, just an introduction of who I am. My name is Michelle Kim, very typical Korean American name. So yes, I'm Korean. I'm 100% Korean. My family came to California back in 2001, pre 9/11, in Anaheim, California. We lived there for a little bit, and then we moved to Downey, California, and that's where I spent my entire childhood, and my family still lives there. So technically, my hometown is still there. I am 24 years old. I was born in December 1999, making me a Gen Z Sagittarius. I have an older sister. She is a millennial, so I do also relate a lot with millennial childhood things. Just a random fact. And currently I'm working as an engineer in Orange County. Also, if you guys hear scuttling around or meows or anything like that, I have 2 cats. One's name is Harvey. One's name is Sylvester. They're little Halloween cats, orange and black. So they get a little loud sometimes, especially now. It's their zoomy time. So if you guys hear it, please ignore it. Anyway, I am an engineer working in the Orange County. I am totally an LA person, so living in the OC has made my blood boil just a little bit, but it's fine. Everything is fine. I work at a defense/tech startup. It's actually quite big now, so I don't really know if I should keep calling it a startup, but anyway, that's what other people call it. I went to UCLA, got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, currently working as a reliability engineer, which now going into industry, it makes you realize that there's not just, design engineer, electrical engineer, civil engineer, whatever. Like, it's way more complicated and way deeper than that. There's a lot of other different types of engineers that are just not really covered in terms of school curriculum. So, we'll probably talk about that actually tomorrow with my friend. So look out for that. I need to stop saying, oh my God, my cats are going crazy. Anyway. So yeah, what is this podcast about? It's really just about everything that I want to talk about. It's about my experiences, my opinions on certain things, my memories, or like how I think about certain topics, how I approach certain topics. I also just want to introduce my friends and family who define a lot of who I am and get their experiences, their thoughts by, interviewing them and just asking them about, what they think. And that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really know what else to say this podcast is about. It's a little difficult to, go beyond just like, oh, it's just about me just yapping, whatever. Because that's really what it is. It's just me yapping about things that I think I'm an expert in, especially as someone who thinks that they are quite emotionally intelligent and just knows people for what they are and what society is, I guess, and how people as a species behave and act. As an extremely observant person, there's a lot of opinions that I have kind of mustered for myself about certain people and certain groups of people. So it's possible that I'm just going to get into that like later on. So that's what the podcast is about. In terms of what the title actually means. So the title, again, is But It's Not That Serious. And I think it's truly reflective of me as a person, as who I am today, as someone that is 24 years old now, in their mid-20s. I have done a lot of, retrospective, just looking back at my life as it is and how I've grown up, and looking at just how much anxiety, how much depression, and how just in my head I was growing up the whole time. And now being in my, mid-20s, like I said, I've come to realize that a lot of the things that I was worried or stressed about or depressed about was just minor inconveniences. I think, of course, things like getting into a good college, getting into a good job, whatever, all of that seems extremely serious at the time. And it is. In many, many ways it is. But the amount of how much I worried and how much I stressed about it, I look back and I just think, but it's not that serious. And I think, again, I truly believe that thought, that reflection comes from a place of great privilege. And I realize that because now at this point in time, I'm able to look back and be like, actually, it wasn't that bad. But for anyone that is currently in the process of, worrying about getting into that next step in their life, of course, it seems like the end of the world for them. And I truly understand that. And I'm sure I'm going to experience that once more. But in this point in time, there's a lot of things that I've just thought about that now to me, it's just, I just need to look at life a little less seriously. And what that'll enable me to do that I haven't done in the past as someone who always lived in their head is to finally look at how beautiful the world is and how much there is to do in the world. So, there's so much things to see and there's so much things to do. And, growing up as someone who was extremely self-conscious and embarrassed all the time, I never wanted to do anything. Like surfing, hell no. I'm going to be terrible at it, so I'm not going to do that. But now coming here, it's like, that's okay. If I suck at something, that's fine. If I fail at something, that's also fine. Like the worst that can happen, I mean, there's some serious things that can happen with surfing, but what I'm trying to say is, like, it's a fun thing to do, and it's something that is worth trying, and especially as someone who is realizing that they are getting older, it's hard to forget the fact that I am only in my 20s once. I was only in my teens once, and in the future, I'm only going to be in my 30s once. So I really need to take advantage of my fleeting youth, especially as someone who is able-bodied, so privileged to have working muscles, working bones. I really need to be thankful for that and take advantage of it, because a girl is not getting any younger. So I need to start doing things that I can only do when I am young. Of course, I just want to put out a disclaimer is that, but it's not that serious. That mantra it rings very true to who I am now, but I don't want to diminish anyone's pain. I don't want to diminish anyone's, like illnesses or death. Like all of that, of course, is like extremely serious, and I don't want to be ignorant of that. And so I truly just mean, regular things that people experience in their lives and minor inconveniences. So I want to keep a light mood to this podcast, but I am going to touch pretty touchy subjects, especially in regards to my life. And I am going to talk about them in a very humorous and lighthearted way as possible, because truly now that I am, I and my family are in a comfortable state, it's easier to talk about, and it's also quite funny, like looking back, as traumatic as certain things were. And I say trauma very carefully, because it's probably not traumatic. It's just, I just say that. Now I kind of want to go do like a sharp left turn into kind of a different topic, but it's about things that I've realized having made a couple videos, filming in public, filming with friends, just some things that I've realized that I kind of want to share. So firstly, it's awkward as hell. It's really, really awkward, especially that first time. So I started filming with my iPhone, and I thought it would be that way for the rest of my kind of like hobbyist career of the vlog channel. And I also didn't plan on making a podcast until I was actually hearing the Beautiful Twin Sisters podcast, which is Ashley and Amber Alexander's. They're like pretty huge YouTubers online. After, I started listening to their podcast, and they just talk about whatever. And I think that's such a comfortable space to share your thoughts, and it's so much fun. And especially with someone with an older sister, I can really feel the joy of the conversation that they have. And so that's something I just wanted to feel for myself, and also want to share with my friends and family. And so that said, again, I'm going off on tangent, but it's really awkward. Again, I started filming just me, myself in my room, but I found myself to keep my voice lower, just in case my roommate at the time, I live by myself now, but I was scared that my roommate from the other room, across a wall, across two doors, would hear me. And so I would keep my voice almost to a whisper and be so self-conscious about her hearing me, like, film myself. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to think I'm like so weird, blah, blah, blah. Even though I had told her that I was going to do a vlog, and she was like so supportive of it. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to follow, whatever. I was still super, super self-conscious. And it was quite an experience for me just to film things, even though nobody really cares. That's also another thing that I realized is nobody cares. Even if they know exactly what you're doing, even if they know that you are vlogging in public, they don't care because they don't know you. A lot of these people in public, they don't know you. And if they do know you, they will most likely support you and want to be in your video. They're not going to judge you unless they have some kind of like hit against you. And yeah, it's just like things that I've realized is like, this is a perfect example of, but it's really not that serious. Vlogging, it might seem daunting at first. It's still daunting to me. I personally don't think I will be able to film in public by myself, at least for like a very long time. I think that takes like another level of comfortableness in front of the camera and in the public. But when it comes to just filming normal daily things, it's way less scary and way less embarrassing than you think it is. So even filming at the mall, filming with your friends, whatever, it's just cute. And I think if you keep in mind that you are just filming things to keep video memory of it, and it's not some kind of clown show where you are trying to become like a famous YouTuber or anything, it really takes away that embarrassment, and it takes away that awkward feeling. And so even having filmed 2 videos with friends and in public, I feel so much more comfortable now. And I think I'm like truly confident that I could just keep doing it. So yeah, my friend is actually coming over tomorrow. So watch out for that vlog. And another thing, speaking of filming with friends, what I have noticed that is extremely interesting about filming with friends is, it could just be a me thing because I'm extremely perfectionist and I like to hone my craft, whatever that is that when you're filming with friends and when you are aware that you are filming a vlog, you are constantly thinking about the end result. You are constantly thinking about, oh my God, this would be great B-roll, or I should film this moment of us doing this together, or when's the next opportunity that I can get something interesting. And you start kind of pressuring yourself to like say certain things or act a certain way, for the camera, do it for the vlog. It's very, very interesting how like it changes your brain chemistry. And another thing is that I'm really trying not to do is it takes away from the private moment between you and your friend. So in the last 2 videos, I've noticed quite quickly the fact that when I have a camera in my bag and when I have intentions of filming the trip as a whole, I'm constantly thinking about what to film. And a part of that, I think, takes away from the quality of time that you are spending with your friend. And that truly worried me. And going forward, I'm really trying not to do that because at some point, I think my friend who was with me at the time will notice and will feel like I am not valuing our time together. And this is just a hobby for me. It's nothing serious. I'm not trying to make money off of this, although that'd be nice. But I don't, like, my relationships with my friends and the quality of time that we spend together is way more important than the fact that I'm filming it. But it's so interesting because that's also why I want to vlog. It's because I want to capture all these memories and be able to look at them back and be like, oh my God, that was such a good time. But if I'm not able to remember in my head the truth about that day of filming and be like, yeah, that was a good time, then I've failed. That's not a truly good vlog. That's just a lie. I think the vlog should capture the feeling of what you were feeling at the time, which is like, oh, we had a good time. We had a good quality time together. So yeah, I'm still working on that. I don't really know what else to say about that. Again, it's just things that I've realized and noticed about just making videos in general. And I'm starting to realize that I'm starting to say a lot again. I will try to stop. The next thing that I realized about video making, I am by no means a videographer or cinematography expert, whatever, but I truly have a newfound respect for editors, editing, videographers, etc. Anyone in the production film industry. It is truly way more technical than I have ever thought it was. There's so many numbers to things like focal length, which, by the way, I learned in my engineering class in optics. Crazy. Things like shutter speed, frame rate, all of these things have numbers, and I'm just naming the most basic ones. The fact that these people know exactly how to make something look on screen is wild. And through that, they express certain emotions and try to bring out their audience's emotions. And there's so much science to that and so much math to that it's crazy. It's way more technical than I would have ever thought. And that's just filming. When it comes to editing, oh my God, there is a whole different world inside of editing software. I use DaVinci Resolve, the free version, and that will get me everything that I need as a hobbyist filmer and editor. So I'm not going to spend any more money on that. I already spent $700 on this friggin' camera, and this mic was $100. I'm not going to spend any more money on that. I'm done. That's all the money. But things can get extremely, extremely expensive, which is kind of the next point. So just to clean up that previous point, extremely technical, and I have a huge respect for editors and film people because they are extremely smart and way smarter than I'll ever be about this topic. The next thing, and I think the final thing, is that it is so expensive. So as someone who likes to kind of dig deep into the technicalities of things, I was looking into different cameras, especially when deciding that I should buy this Osmo Pocket 3 DJI thing. It was the biggest bang for my buck, but obviously there's way better cameras out there. I think the most popular one, as far as people that I watch, is the FX3, which is that even a Sony or a I don't know. Anyways, those things probably cost, with the lenses, which are a couple $1,000s each if you want a really good one. Probably their camera setup is anywhere from 5 to 10K. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy. People invest a lot of money into this to make their film look good, and obviously it pays off. And obviously their skill set reflects and is well deserving of a camera setup like that. But that's not me. And I have a huge respect for people that just get into this and become experts at it, Anyway, that was kind of a short list of things that I've realized. Obviously, there's other things that I probably realized and have noticed, but me and my my goldfish brain, sorry, it's kind of late, have remembered was those points that I just listed. So, yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up now because this was not meant to be a very long episode, especially as an intro episode. But the next episode is going to be with my friend. I think I mentioned it earlier. And it's going to be about being a female engineer in, corporate America. Because she and we went to the same college and graduated at the same time. And we share the same profession. And we basically have the same, life timeline. And so we're just going to go at, all the way from starting college and then all the way up to now, and just our thoughts about engineering as a whole and as a career path, and just some of our experiences going to engineering school and working as an engineer. So we're going to just toot our horns a little bit during that, I'm pretty sure, because we are both proud of ourselves and each other about having accomplished what we have. But yeah, anywho, I am extremely excited and I'm starting to get really tired. So I'm going to just wrap this up really quickly here. Thank you guys for listening to the very first episode of But It's Not That Serious podcast. Hopefully this take here is not going to have all the buts and ums and likes. But it's late, so you know what? If this doesn't work, then whatever, I'm still posting it. So thank you guys, and watch out for my next vlog and podcast episode. Bye guys.